What's up, souls? It's Coach Dominique.
And I'm Mellard.
And today we're going to talk personal development. I'm sure all of you all have heard of personal development before, but we really want to just like emphasize the importance of you truly understanding how impactful it is to anything you do, any interactions you may have in friendships, family, personal relationships, in business. It's very important to know that personal development is very fundamental.
Yeah, it's really a foundational thing that's going to enhance any and everything else you do. And without it, any and everything that you do or experience is not going to be able to reach its full potential.
Yeah, so this is really for the person that's really trying to, get to a place of understanding like who they are. What is the process of getting to a place of them feeling very comfortable with who they are, feeling confident in all that they do, and a lot of times. A lot of stuff that we don't move on or take action in, or just kind of feel a little antisocial or whatever, it boils down to you being confident in who you are and confident in a relationship that you have with yourself.
Absolutely.
And so one of the things that is important to know and is a part of personal development is understanding your story, understanding who you are, understanding what you have gone through, what types of challenges you have faced, and how you have faced it. Did you, understand what the core message was, with what you have gone through, or did you just, kind of have an emotional response to what you went through and kind of just store that as a memory of something that makes you angry or something that makes you sad, but you didn't really take away the general message of it. And so I think one of the number one important things of personal development is rewriting your story. Again, and understanding your story. Your story don't have to be what it was when you experienced it, whether it's childhood, early adulthood. You can go back and change the meaning of your experiences. And so it may be something where, you concluded that it was a sad thing and that's that. But if you really sit in reflection and really go back and say, okay, this thing made me sad, but what was my triggers? And once you have identified your triggers, then you'll also understand what the message was that you needed to receive, because everything that triggers us brings something to our awareness that we still need to work on, something that we need to grow in. And so I feel that is an important part of personal development is knowing your story, owning your story, not feeling any guilt or shame of it, but also making your story something that's valuable. And it only can have value if you realize that it has value and you understand all the messages that come to you through your experiences. And if you don't like a certain story that you have stored in your mind from your past, change it. Change what it means to you. It don't have to stay, the same as how you stored it when you initially experienced it.
Yeah, absolutely. I just real briefly, I have a story that kind of correlates with what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Growing up, had a kind of a rough relationship with my dad. He was, he was hardcore. He was old school, and it really had a real strong impact on me even early on. Like, and I remember as a child seeing some stuff that happened, and already I didn't know the value of what I was doing, but I was already rewriting the story even back then, because I was telling myself, when I become a father, I'm not going to do this, or I'm not going to be like that. And it did have an impact though on me, because it just does. That's just how things happen. So as an adult, I started realizing that it was affecting my ability to interact in a positive way with people. And I noticed that I was having some anger issues, and then I tracked it back down to that story and I rewrote it. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not living that alternative ending. We're going to rewrite that, and I'm going to gain strength from all of it, not just saying I'm not going to do this as a father and I'm not going to be like that, but just getting the emotional part of it out of the way too, to change, to change how I had the story stored in my mind, and just really got rid of that anger issue just by facing it, accepting it. Even went to the extent of revisiting my dad, taking my children, and embracing him with open arms. So yeah, it's definitely powerful when you rewrite the stories that you experience and how they play out in your mind.
Yeah, it's definitely rewarding.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You do that, and then it just gives you a whole new perception.
Yeah, it really does.
Of what you went through, and understanding why you had to go through certain things.
Oh yeah, and you gain appreciation for it, even though some people would just, without proper guidance or without actually facing it, you'll just go through life being mad about that all the time.
And then creating similar experiences.
Yeah, and then you end up being the same person that you hated, know?
Yeah.
So it's good to rewrite the story. I like that really, really good.
Yeah, definitely. And so another thing that I feel that is important for personal development is self-reflection. And it's kind of the same thing because, in order for you to, go back and rewrite your story and know your story, you have to, reflect, And the reason why I feel like self-reflection is a key part of personal development is because you have to know who you are, who is self, who are you, and a lot of times people like, oh, I'm a woman, I'm a man, I'm a father, I'm a mother, blah blah blah.
Titles.
Titles.
Yeah.
But who you truly are is when you pay attention to your patterns, your behavior, your temperament, all of that, your personality, all of that is who you are. And all of those things are responses to how we perceive things. We have certain patterns, we behave a certain way, we have certain temperaments based on how we perceive a thing or experience. And so a lot of times all of those things have been built on the things that we experienced growing up.
Yeah.
And we have those same patterns and those same responses to similar experiences.
Yep.
So you might experience them as a child, and as an adult, you don't even realize you're responding the same way.
The same way, because you programmed yourself to react this type of way when this thing happens. And didn't even realize you programmed yourself to think like that.
Exactly. So self-reflection is important because in order for you to have any type of personal development, any type of growth or anything, you have to know, again, like who you are for you to build on anything. And so self-reflection is really, really important. And there's different ways that you can create a space where you can reflect on yourself and who you are and what's mirroring back to you, And,
like journaling is one thing that you can do, writing out your thoughts, like, and in order to do that, you have to sit down and spend time with yourself. Everybody live a busy life, and if you let life just keep happening to you, you're going to tell yourself you don't got time to sit down and write nothing out, but you need to take that time to yourself to actually do that. And so you have to establish a time of the day that you're going to actually take just to yourself. Whatever time works best for you. For me, it's 4:30 a.m. That's my best time. Wake up at 4:30 a.m., go through my ritual. You create like a ritual that you spend that sacred time with yourself. And you can journal, you can write out your thoughts because it helps you kind of get it off of your chest. Like even if you talk to somebody and you vent, you feel better after that. So journaling kind of does that same thing, except for it's even more intimate and even more private because it's just you. So you can say whatever you want to say. You don't have to hold back at all. Then the other thing is meditation. Meditation is very, very important. It's so many different texts religions, just so many different practices where meditation is always included. If you pay attention, you'll see meditation mentioned just about everywhere. And meditation has like proven scientific benefits like reducing stress, increasing your self-awareness, increasing your focus. Because to sit down and meditate, you got to sit down and stay focused, when you really start practicing it the right way. And it also helps to defeat escapism, because a lot of people, why they always on the go is because they don't want to stop, because then they're going to start thinking about the stuff that hurt them, that made them angry, that triggers those emotions. And so meditating actually forces you, well, not forces you because you choosing to do it, but it's encouraging you to sit down and face whatever it is, and you able to start bringing that stuff to the surface so you can actually deal with it, and move on forward from there.
Right.
Yes.
Yep. Yep. So you have to create time and a space where you can just reflect on your thoughts and be able to just bring stuff, up to the surface, and be able to address those things without any distractions.
Yeah.
And so that's very important, self-reflection. And then, another thing that's very important, I believe, for personal development is, setting intentions. When you set an intention, it kind of, what I want to say, allow you to stay committed to what you say you want for yourself and what you want to do. If your intention is to say, I want my health to be better, if you're constantly affirming that to yourself, then it's gonna constantly be in your awareness, and different ways to do that, whether it's, again, writing, meditating, each rising when you wake up, the first thing you think of is what you want to do within that day to fulfill that intention. And, and this, one step at a time, well, every rising, I'm going to eat an apple, every rising. But when you first wake up, you give yourself that attention so that you can really give energy to your intention. A lot of times when people wake up, they immediately pick up their phone.
Mm-hmm.
They're trying to see what's going on in the world and what everybody else have going on, instead of investing that time within their self. But if you do that, if you take time throughout the day, like I said, whether it's waking up, whether it's doing lunchtime or whatever, bring attention back to that intention, and you'll find yourself moving on, you're fulfilling that intention more, because it's constantly always in your awareness. And so intention setting is very important, and it also creates confidence in yourself that you're going to fulfill what you say you're going to do, and not really creating the opportunity to have doubt, because you're constantly thinking about it. You're constantly, giving energy to your intention, So intention setting is very, very important, because me personally, I feel that it keeps you more committed to what you say you want to do.
Yeah, it's like making promises to yourself, really.
Mm-hmm.
And when you keep those promises to yourself, you increase your trust in yourself. So now you trust yourself, because when you know that you should be doing something and you don't do it, you lying to yourself. So now you stop trusting yourself, and that just leads into a whole lot of other different things.
Mm-hmm.
So before you go to sleep at night, this is something that I learned along the way. You should determine what is it that I want to accomplish tomorrow. What are all of the things I want to accomplish tomorrow? And the list might be 10 or 15 different things, but you need to figure out what is the top priority things, and come up with these things I want to get done for sure tomorrow. Write those things down, and then you go to sleep with a peace of mind, knowing what you're going to do the next day. So when you wake up, you do your rising ritual, you spend some time with yourself. After you get done with it, you're like, okay, what's on my agenda for the day? This is what I got. So instead of like just winging it, you already have a set list of things that you want to accomplish. And then as you accomplish those things, you also increasing your confidence in yourself because
Mm-hmm.
you said you was going to do it and you did it, and you start checking off those things. And if you don't get them all done, then move some of them to the next day. Don't overwhelm yourself. After a while, you get into a healthy balance of how many things can I put on this list that I actually feel like I can get done the next day. So definitely setting intentions is really, really important for personal development.
Yeah, small wins is actually huge wins at the end of the day, because the more small wins you have, the more excitement and, like you said,
Yeah,
confidence you have within yourself and your ability to fulfill those things. So the more you feel like, oh, I am getting it done,
yeah,
then later on you'll see those big wins where
yeah,
you're like, oh, this this ain't nothing. Not nothing like, it ain't nothing, but it's like it's easier for you to fulfill that big win
yeah.
because you have been stimulating yourself and exercising your ability to fulfill tasks, you
Oh
know.
yeah.
And so that is very important, intention setting.
Yeah, I like how you spoke on getting those small wins. So like
Mm-hmm.
just anything when you wake up, you say you're gonna do your rising ritual, you do it, you work out, you meditate, whatever. Boom, that's a win. That's a win. You know when you first wake up, you make up your bed. Everything is you do stuff that you know you need to do anyway, and you celebrate your victory, you celebrate your wins because now you programming your mind to be more apt to take on bigger challenges. But the next thing that we was going to speak on personal development is your external stimuli. So basically the things that you keep around you, and I'm talking about people, things, places you go, types of things that you entertain on social media, TV, all of that kind of stuff is really, really important because what you see and what you hear and even what you smell is constantly programming your subconscious mind. And the question is, what is it programming your subconscious mind for? So if you putting a lot of garbage in your senses, what you see, what you hear, what you smell, then you already know how that's programming your subconscious mind. And then the things that you choose to experience, because just because you might be in a certain situation or circumstance doesn't mean that you can't put yourself in other environments to experience different things. So some of the things that you can do to like really increase or enhance your external stimuli is put like pictures of some of the things that you desire all around you. So in your bathroom, when you go to the bathroom, you always look in the mirror, put some stuff up there on the mirror, some affirmations, some pictures of some stuff that you would like, maybe a picture of your dream bathroom in the current bathroom that you're in. When you go downstairs in the kitchen, everybody always looks at the refrigerator, put pictures there, wherever the places that you see on a consistent basis, put some type of visual stimulants there. What you listen to when you wake up in the AM, if you do your rising ritual, you might play some type of, binaural beats or something like that while you're doing your rising ritual, or throughout the day, you might play some motivational speeches, or just something that's just going to be positive. So you constantly overloading yourself with what you desire and the path that you want to go in, because there's so much stuff in the world that's programming you in a different direction that you have to dilute that with what you want. And after a while, you override all of that kind of stuff and you don't even see that stuff the same way anymore. Experiences like test driving, like whatever it is your dream car might be, go to the dealership and drive it. Put your hands on the steering wheel, feel the feeling of this is mine, feel that feeling, because those feelings is what bring things into fruition. Go visit open houses in neighborhoods that you would like to live in. Restaurants, you might not be able to it might be something, a restaurant that you wouldn't typically spend money at, but even if you just go there and get a dessert or something like that, you putting yourself in that environment, and that's programming your subconscious mind. And then like hotels, every now and then stay at a hotel that you wouldn't typically spend money on, so the things that you have in your environment shapes you. Everybody knows that your environment is a major factor which shapes the type of person that you become. So the things that you can control, because you can't control all of your environment, but the things you can control, you should take full advantage of that. So I
Yeah.
think that's really important, for personal development as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then, did you have anything you wanted to add with the external?
Yeah, I can add to that because, that's why personal development, knowing who you are, um, things that you need to address, just, having that reflection, all of that attracts your external uh, reality, you know. And so, you know, down to the company you keep, you know, the personal relationship you may have, the job or business you may have, or whatever, that's all a reflection of your internal world. And so that's why it's important to do the work for, you know, you to really was grow and expand into the person that you say that you want to be, and have the things that you say that you want, you feel like you deserve. And so that's why it's very, very important to really, you know, create some time and create a space where you can do you know, this work, do your internal work, so that you can have the external world that you feel that you should have. um, and I'm not saying that is a walk in the park, but the more that you work towards the things that you say you want, and really like work on the person that you say you feel that you want to be, then the more you'll see those things start to pop up in your reality, like, oh, that worked out in my favor. You know, it won't be so much of a surprise. You'll be like, yeah, I know that that was going to um, you know, work out in my favor, because I've been doing the work, I've been putting the energy into, you know, that particular thing. And
Yeah.
so it just start coming, it just start flowing into your reality. um you know, you do the work, you put in the energy, it's like, it's karma. It's just, it's like a boomerang. You put it out, it's gonna come back, you know.
Yeah,
So
you start becoming the person that you know deep down inside that you are
yeah.
already.
Mm-hmm.
You know, is, you know, and you get all of the programming out of your system that you might have experienced or been exposed to. The last thing we want to speak on is developing real unconditional love for everything.
Mm-hmm.
And this is high level stuff right here, because in my opinion, I think developing unconditional love is one of the most challenging things that human beings face, because it's like you got to get to the point where you realize everybody has a right to be whatever it is that they desire to be, as long as it doesn't as long as it doesn't impede on who you are and what you're trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
Then they have the right to do that. And this is where you get to a place where you don't judge people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you develop that unconditional love, this is also something that helps you forgive people. You know, because you understand everybody has their own experience. Everything is energy, everything is interconnected. So when you think about it, even on a scientific level, every single thing, every single person that you know, it's nothing solid matter. Actually, it's all energy, and energy is evenly distributed throughout the whole universal experience. So everything and everybody is literally interconnected on an energetic level. Everybody is a one. It's like the universe is one big organism, and we all working parts of that. Like the cells in your body, they all separate cells, but they all are part of the same body. And that's how it is on a universal level, as above, so below.
Mm-hmm.
And so other people are also just an extension of you. So when you see another person and you start developing unconditional love, you don't see them as somebody separate from you. So then how you treat them, it changes, because you wouldn't treat yourself in some type of negative way. And that's where that golden rule kind of comes into play. Treat others how you would want to be treated, you know. And when you understand that person is me too, and I'm them, you know, we both extensions of the universe, then it's easy to start looking at people in that way and not being so judgmental. Everybody's experience is unique, so different people might have done some negative things in their life, but I guarantee you it was based off of their experience in life and how they chose to perceive it, you know. And that's how you really able to start forgiving people. You know, I've gotten to a place with forgiveness where I really don't have to forgive people anymore, because when stuff happens, I don't even let it get to a point where I'm holding on some type of animosity towards it. So I don't even have to forgive them, because I never took it personal in the first place. I understand that's their experience. That's how they see things. They only did what they knew how to do. They only did the best that they knew with the information that they had, with their perception, the experiences that they had in their life. And so it's easy to move forward from situations or interactions with people without holding that type of judgment or that type of negativity. So, you know, it's you have to get to a point where you let everybody or everything do or be as it wishes. That's what unconditional love is. Love also helps you develop faith, on a much stronger and a much higher level, which also erases fear. Because, as some of y'all may know, you either operating out of faith or you operating out of fear. It's going to be leaning one way or the other. If you operating out of fear, you're not going to live the life that you truly are capable of living if you operating out of fear. I'm not saying you can't live a decent life, a good life. You can, but it can never be as strong as when you start operating on the other side, which is faith. So
And just that, as that, that's why a lot of people don't operate like in unconditional love. It's because, they're operating out of fear. Like, I need a controlled, environment or controlled relationship or
yeah,
interaction or whatever so that they can feel like, validated
yeah,
and valued, and so they're only using the other person to,
yeah,
feel some type of way. And so, we was listening on to a podcast the other day when they was we was watching something and they were speaking on marriage, and one person felt that, once you're in a marriage, you own that person.
oh yeah,
And we totally disagree with
oh
that.
yeah, big disagree.
And that is a expression of somebody that's living out of fear, because you feel like, oh, now that I'm in a relationship with somebody, I own them, and so they have to bend to my will, or to kind of make life comfortable for them, and I think, like, when you do that, when you create a situation like, oh, okay, we own each other, that really, like, triggered me, it didn't feel good, blah blah blah, just let's not do that no more, blah blah blah. That's not love.
Yeah,
Love is gonna challenge you,
because that's not letting the person be their self.
right?
Yeah,
And when a person be their self, it encourages you to be open and
yeah,
expand your mind and
yeah,
expand your perception, because when you truly love someone, you want to understand them.
yeah, and you have faith in them.
Right,
When
right.
you in a relationship and you have faith in that person, then the relationship is going to go totally different.
Yeah.
People that operate out of fear, they do things that's like, what you would consider controlling, because they fearful of losing somebody. If you meant to be with somebody, why are you scared of losing them?
Yeah.
If you being yourself and the other person's being their self, and it gets to a point where you and that person no longer resonate, then why are you fighting to change that? Why are you fighting for that to be different? And a lot of people, they stay in relationships way longer than they probably should, because they fearful of being alone or whatever. They not being their self, so you can't even get a real natural chemistry. Like, we've definitely had our challenges, with each other, but we still allow each other to be who we are, and that has caused us to grow. It's caused challenges, it's caused arguments,
Yeah.
but when I look back at it, I mean, honestly, like, I've grown so much in this relationship because of that, because of humbling myself down. And I'm not saying it's always been right away, but just, at the end of the day, I love her, and I want us to be what we gonna be, and so I gotta take a step back and be like, I gotta question my perception. I gotta have unconditional love and understand her experience in life and her perception. And it's valid. It's not like, oh, that's just their perception. I'm gonna listen to it, but I ain't going to take it into consideration. That's not wise, because you're missing out on intelligence that you could be gaining. From all of the people that you interact with, you can gain some type of intelligence from those people. So you should be open minded.
Even the ones that have like a difference in opinion and stuff, or the conversation may not go the way you desired it to, or whatever the case is. But even in those conversations, you can learn stuff from that person,
which helps you develop as a person. I mean, we could go on and on, but that's
Yeah.
more so getting into relationships, and we got some classes and some videos we're gonna be doing on relationships as well. But we just wanted to kind of touch on personal development. So
yeah, because again, just emphasizing, like, understanding who you are, that pours into everything you do.
That's so key. If you don't know who you are not going to figure out what your purpose is. If you don't figure out what your purpose is, you're not going to have the passion and the drive that you need to achieve the things that you want to achieve. So it is imperative. It's necessary that you develop yourself. It's necessary. If you want to live the life that you have inside of your heart and your mind, that you think about and you feel on a day-to-day basis, or you see it on TV and you like, that should be me too. You got to dig in. You got to dig in and work on self.
And it can be you.
Oh yeah.
But again, personal development is an internal process of growth and expansion, know. And when you do that inside your external world, it has to follow.
Oh yeah.
It has to follow, and so we was like, let's just, holler at the people. You know what I'm saying? Let's just, have a real conversation, because everybody is trying to get somewhere. Everyone wants to be somebody, and it's somebody that is needing, a conversation like this, just to know where to start. Like, some people skip the personal development part.
Yeah.
And they just like, oh, I really just want this business. Let me just go out and buy all the material and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And
and they have some success with it too.
Right. And you got to understand, people are drawn and attracted to you. Yes, they love, jewelry or whatever it is you're doing, but it's also who you are as a person that they're drawn to first. And then whatever else you do next,
So even though some people might have some success not working on personal development, they missing out on the level of success that they could have.
Yeah. And so, the world is changing, right before us. And, it's some great shifts that is happening. But you have to be on the side of understanding your power, your authority, and to understand it, again, you have to know yourself.
This is your vehicle.
A lot of people don't know themselves. They're running around the world with all this demands of other people, things that their parents told them they supposed to be, things that the world told them that they supposed to be.
Status quo.
Let me, just whatever, and a lot of times people really believe that they're living out who they supposed to be by trying to fulfill these demands of other people. And it's a lot of people that's running around and they don't know who they are. And so even like in different conversations and interactions, that's why it's important to not just give into emotion so quickly when a conversation or interaction is not going your way, because you're allowing a person that don't even know who they are, make you upset. But at the same time, if you was triggered, it was something in that experience that you needed to take away from it. But it's just something to think of. Is a lot of people out here that don't know who they are, and is it worth giving your energy away, and again giving into emotions of a whole bunch of empty people. And not saying that they empty. Everybody have souls, but a lot of people don't answer to their soul. A lot of people don't sit down and be like, what's up, soul? Where you trying to lead us? Really give soul attention and stuff. And so
people operate like they are a body or a mind that has a soul. You are a soul that has a body and a mind that you can operate as you wish. People literally go to their grave. And it's sad, in a sense, on a surface level, it's sad. People go to their grave and they still don't know who they are, and that's because they spent their whole life trying to please everybody else,
right? Right.
So personal development, work on yourself, get yourself right. If you ain't right, nothing else around you gonna be right. So forget trying to work on being in a relationship. You need to get yourself right. Forget trying to have friends. If you don't know yourself, how you picking your friends? You don't even know yourself. So
or how you in pursuit of a partner, you don't really know what you want.
Yeah.
It's what you want in a partner based on unhealed parts of you.
Yeah, or is it based on what the world says this is what a ideal partner is supposed to be? Like,
yeah,
you gotta check
and you
yourself.
might try to pursue this ideal partner, but you might not be even ready for that.
Yep, you run right across them and lose them just like that, or don't even have an opportunity because you're not where you need to be,
or you don't, or you're not able to readily identify them.
Yep. Period.
You know, so again, like I said, we just, we came to just really kind of like, impart what we have gained wisdom on with our own personal journey and our journey together as, partners and stuff, just really understanding the importance of just developing yourself, just because you are mom and dad and a wife and husband, cousin, daughter, or whatever, doesn't mean that, those titles or those roles is more important than yourself.
Yeah.
You are, because you can't be no good mother, father, husband, wife, daughter,
whatever
nothing
the title is
without you being good to you first.
Yeah, period.
So
period. So appreciate y'all for taking the time to watch this. Definitely hope that y'all got some value out of it. Hope you got some value out of it. Definitely share this with somebody you know that might need to hear this message. We always gonna be here. If y'all got anything that y'all want to add to the conversation, feel free to comment. Feel free to reach out to us. If it's any other conversations that y'all would like us to speak on, always feel free to reach out to us. We just people just like everybody else. We not better than anybody else. We just here to share our experience and do our part, our universal duty to contribute to worldwide evolution. So
absolutely. So if you like what was shared, add both of us on Facebook, Malik Zakari and Dominique Zakari. We will add in the comments, or we'll tag the pages.
Yeah, we'll put the links on and all that good stuff in there so y'all can follow us.
Yeah. So with that being said, we love y'all.
Much love. Soul to soul, all day, every day.
Yes.
Appreciate y'all.